Hello, I'm Nicolette and I am with Rod Quantock.
You are? Well, I'm with you.
Well, we're with each other.
We
we'll
are.
make it something that's it's consensual.
It is consensual, absolutely.
Now, Rod, you are performing in the Melbourne Fringe in 2014.
Yes, I am. After a very long time not performing in it.
That's right. Well, tell me about that. You've been a performer now for
4, 5, 6 years. Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah.
And how long has it been since you've been part of Melbourne Fringe?
Look, it's more than 10 years. I think I can't actually remember. And look, for a long time I thought, well, I'm not really fringe. I'm mainstream. I've had national advertising campaigns. I've been on the ABC. I'm not really fringe. But there's so much going on at the moment that. It's just a good opportunity to come out and vent my spleen and dissect Tony Abbott and rearrange Joe Hockey and do something to Julie Bishop that's unspeakable. So, it's a good time to be doing political comedy.
Do you think there's something about being involved in the Fringe, let's say, that kind of gives you more freedom than perhaps if another festival?
I never, ever think that I lack freedom.
Okay.
I don't. It doesn't worry me. In fact, well, that's another story. I won't go into that. No, it doesn't really. No, it's an opportunity, hopefully, to get a different audience. That's the thing that interests me most. I would expect to get a much younger audience. Often I look out on my audiences, say at the comedy festival, I think, well, really we should have this in a funeral parlour. These people are not going to make the end of the hour. So yeah, getting a younger audience would be interesting, yeah.
Have you been involved in other Fringe festivals at all? Adelaide or?
I used to do Adelaide, but it got too expensive.
Yeah, how do you find that it compares to Melbourne? I mean,
look, the Adelaide Fringe is just wonderful because you leave Melbourne behind. I used to use it as my sort of out-of-town tryout for the comedy festival, so I'd go over there and for a couple of weeks do 10, 12 shows. And because I don't write anything, I work it out as I go. So it's only Adelaide. I mean, what the fuck? So just go over there and you work it out as you go. Come back to the Melbourne Comedy Festival and you're on top of the world. So, but it just the venues became very expensive. Advertising, everything over there is extraordinarily expensive now. And the advice is, unless you're a really big name, one of those people who's had a lot of television exposure or FM radio or whatever, the chances of making money are really quite slim. So I just gave it up in the end. I can't afford to do things for nothing much anymore. 40 years ago I would have leapt at it. But and look, the difference, I suppose, is Adelaide's extraordinarily spread out. It's a wonderful city to live in. It's so easy to get around. And there's a genuine excitement in the whole city, which you don't get here for the Melbourne Fringe. I think if you get, say, to the end of the Eastern Freeway, you would ask somebody about the Fringe and they'd think you were talking hairdressing. So
yes,
it's not it doesn't grip Melbourne the way it grips Adelaide.
Very true, very true. Now, with the Fringe Festival, there's a number of genres that are covered. So
yes, furniture.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I was thinking of just standing still very quietly like that and people could come and sit on me. But I didn't have the time. There's furniture, it's fantastic.
What do you see as being the benefits of being involved in a festival that has so many genres?
Oh, look, I don't look at
Beyond
it that way,
having
really.
somewhere to sit.
No, that's right. Can you sit on it? It's art. It's art. I can't sit on it. Look, I think it. What does it do? Look, I think from my point of view, nothing. It doesn't mean much to me at all that there's furniture there. But I think overall, for people who participate in the Fringe, because I've been to things in the Fringe that haven't been stage-based. I've been to things like the furniture exhibition, and it was a great exhibition a few years ago about architecture and so on. So I go to those things probably more than I go to the performances.
So in terms of having a particular genre that might be your... I mean, the word genre. It sounds. Look, when I say genre, I feel like I'm talking about film.
You sound
I guess
like
what I'm
Margaret
saying,
and David.
I do. Well,
yes.
I like both of them.
Yeah. Can you go?
I probably could.
Yeah. Okay. She's good at laughing, Margaret.
But in terms of the different categories that are covered across Fringe, do you find that when you get the opportunity to go and see shows, that you're drawn to one particular category of show more than another?
Look, the things that have drawn me in the past have been. don't know what no, there isn't really a category, but it's those art installations, those interesting things that people do. That I mean, I can go and perform any day of the week, 365 days of the year. So in terms of that, it's not important. And then a lot of the performers I've seen and so on. But these are things that I wouldn't access normally. So for me, it focuses me. Clearly, I could go to a gallery tomorrow and stare at art for as long as I liked, but the Fringe concentrates my attention on those other art forms. Yeah, we'll call them art forms.
Let's call them art forms. I know I do. I feel like I'm like talking about film. Can I get a short synopsis of Introduction to Revolution, please?
Well, I can't tell you yet because it doesn't open for a couple of weeks, and I haven't really done anything about it. Oh no, look, it will involve engaging people in a revolution that I'm planning, but it's pretty high secret, and I will break every audience into autonomous underground network cells, and at the end of it all, I should have perhaps 100 individual cells of perhaps half a dozen people each, which I can then activate by an SMS.
Yes.
And when they get the SMS, that's their cue to join the revolution. In between me doing that, they've got to build a guillotine.
From
bits of wood and anything like kitchen knives.
Found objects?
Found art. There we go. We could have a guilotine exhibition.
Probably don't want to pull apart any of that Fringe furniture.
No, you wouldn't want to do that.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
Well, I mean, if you... Well...
Okay, look, some of it's not very good. Some of it's not very good.
Well, sometimes it's more about what it means.
Yes, I suppose that's true, yeah. It means they're not very good.